Take a listen to what he had to say about it.
Is there any chance that this is your last game? Zero.
Zero.
Say it. I don't want to just say
There's
it.
zero, yeah.
Okay.
There's zero. I've said that for a long time. I feel like I'm asked that a lot, and I feel like I repeat the same answer. I've set a goal for myself at 45, and like I said before, it's very hard to make it that far. I know how hard it was this year, you know, and the commitment it takes, and hopefully I've learned from some of the things that happened this year to be better next year.
And take a look at what Rams corner Nickell Robey-Coleman said about Brady. He will slowly start to reveal himself. Age has definitely taken a toll. I think that he's definitely not the same quarterback he was. He still can sling it, but he's not slinging it as much. Whatever he was doing because of his age and all that, he's not doing as much of that anymore. He's still doing the same things. He's just not doing as much of it. And sometimes it's not the sharpest. He had a lot to say. We are joined by Fox NFL analyst Greg Jennings. Good to have you with us this morning. But first, Skip.
Yeah.
So, you think Brady's going to play till 45?
I definitely believe he will play until he's 45. And a quick thought on Robey-Coleman.
What do you think of it?
Isn't he the guy who's luckiest to even be playing in the Super Bowl? Isn't he the guy who made the all-time blunder that should have been called?
Yeah.
And he was taken off the hook by 3 referees who decided not to pull their flags. And he dares to call out
Surprising.
Thomas, Edward, Patrick, Brady, the one man in sports you do not bet against and you do not call out. I keep telling you that, and you won't buy it. You won't listen. Yeah, call him out. Here we go. You know, this is the guy who has told you from the start, I'm going to play until I'm 45. I got to knock on wood because this is obviously barring career-threatening or ending injury, which obviously could happen on any given play. I'm knocking on wood again. But barring that, he will play until he's 45, and he will be driven by you and Eric Dickerson. I'm not sure about you. We'll see where you stand after this topic is over. But he loves to hear you scoff at him and dismiss him and disrespect him because you fuel him. And in the end, you keep trying to impose your rules on him, your career ceiling on him. Greg played until you were 32-ish, right? 32, 35 here. And he's saying 45, and you say, you can't do that. It's not feasible. It's just not possible. And he's saying, watch me. I'm going to shatter the mold. I'm going to play far longer than anybody has played because I've figured out how to even get better. We just saw 2 games, Chargers, Chiefs, in which I've never seen him better than in those 2 games. And after the Chiefs game, I don't think I've ever seen him have any more fun that he was having on that football field in overtime and soon after celebrating with his teammates. So what can he do in life to replace that? Well, it's impossible. You just can't. It's fun. You've won 3 of them. You won 1 of them. You know that euphoric feeling that you experienced. Well, he's experienced it 5 times, and he's got a shot at 6 times to experience it. And knowing him, he'll have a 7th and an 8th shot before this is all over. So I fully, completely expect him to play until he's 45. And I say God bless Robey-Coleman because that's the exact thing that he needed to motivate him further for this Super Bowl.
Yeah, Edelman might catch 25 passes.
He might.
No, I don't believe he will, Skip. I thought he was going to be gone if they'd have kept Garoppolo. I believe he would have been gone then. But since that didn't happen, they got rid of Garoppolo, cleared the decks for Tom. I'm going to stick with it. I believe 20 years will be his last in New England. Now, he might choose to go elsewhere, and we've seen some of the other greats.
So you're saying next year, last year?
Last year. Okay. Next year's his last year. But say that with a caveat. Well, if they're going to run the ball and protect him like they did the last 2 games, well, he might play till he's 50. But Skip, we haven't seen them run the ball like this in 16 games. We haven't seen this offensive line protect him. Although he was the 3rd least sacked quarterback in all of football, he took some shots in some games, and he didn't look the same. So, however, as great as he looked in these final 2 games in the playoffs, with 1 to come, Tom didn't look like that a lot during the regular season. This is not, I'm not making this up. He didn't. He didn't look like this against Detroit. He didn't look like this against the Titans. He didn't look like this against Jacksonville.
How do you look against Patrick Mahomes? Just asking.
Okay. But
how do you look against Aaron Rodgers? I'm just asking. You know,
but
Kirk Cousins?
There were other games in which you didn't look like this.
True. Yeah.
So, with that being said, I'm going to stick to my, I'm going to say 2020. He plays 20 seasons. It can go quick, Skip, because if you remember, Peyton Manning, his second to last year, he threw for 39 touchdowns. One behind Andrew Luck, who threw for 40. And the next year, he stepped off a cliff. Now, he was on fumes. And just as the fumes ran out, he crossed the finish line with a Super Bowl 50. That was it.
Does Tom Brady look like he's on fumes to you? I'm just asking.
Peyton Manning didn't look like he was on fumes when he threw 39 touchdowns, did he, Greg?
He didn't. However, and I've compared him to Peyton, and I'm done doing that because he's not Peyton. He will play till he's 45. he will flat out play till he's 45, and he said why. I have a goal. Number one, stop asking me.
Yep.
Tell me a player in sports that is more purpose-driven and intentional about a goal. None. This is why he's where he's at. Then you look at Tom Brady, he's never experienced losing. Why would he hang it up? And I don't think there's no way he's not playing for New England. They don't have the Steve Young. They don't have the Aaron Rodgers. They don't have the Andrew Luck draft pick that they see in the foreseen future right now that's going to replace him. They don't have these things in place. They did.
Right.
They thought but they don't have it any longer. So there's no reason for him to walk away right now. He's missed in his career 2 postseasons. 2. One because he was injured in 2008.
Yep.
Speaking of injury, how many times has he been injured? Once. 2008. And we continue to compare him to Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning had a serious neck injury where he probably shouldn't have come back from it. And so we look at Tom Brady. He's always been healthy. They've always